What is up, guys? It's Kara Corey here, registered dietitian, back for another episode of Dietitian Talk. So I first want to start out by saying it's very helpful for me if you guys can please share these videos on your social media accounts or with other people that you think it might be helpful for them. That is the purpose of these videos. I want to spread the message as much as possible, reach as many people as much as possible. So if you can, I really appreciate it if you share these videos. And for today's topic, I'm going to talk about something near and dear to my heart. This is a topic that's relevant, I believe, to any and all people, whether you're someone in the fitness industry or not. This is something that we all struggle with, and I think it can be applied to anyone's lives. So the topic I'm going to talk about is an email I recently got to my Gmail account, and I've been getting a lot of questions about this, and it kind of goes back to, in my head, what I want to classify as like fitness eating disorders in a way. So that's kind of the general topic of today's video. I want to read you just a little bit of this email that was sent to me so you kind of have an idea of where I'm going with this video. So the email, in a nutshell, to read a little bit of it, just says, an interesting topic I'd like to hear your thoughts on. Instead of bringing flexibility and freedom, If It Fits Your Macros has now controlled my entire life. I won't eat anything I don't know the exact macros for. Even post-show, I'm declining my friends, family, social life, and numbers and weights consume my day. I spend all my day glued to my fitness pal, even just to fantasize. And once I had a meltdown because I realized I went 10 grams over on carbs. I've forgotten what it feels like to intuitively eat like a regular person. I'm never hungry nor full, and I freak out at the thought of an untracked meal because I end up binging on things I don't even necessarily want just because I know it won't fit a normal day. And in this email, I'm basically being asked to kind of discuss a little bit about intuitive eating and just how to know if you're doing it correctly and how to get back to intuitive eating. So with reading that email, I feel like this is a very relatable email. So for, I won't say her name just for privacy, but thank you for sending me that email because I do think this is a topic worth discussing. And she also sent me a link to an article, I think it was like a blog post, that kind of went through it very nicely. I really enjoyed the article. So I wanted to give my opinions on this a little bit. And to me, I kind of think about like fitness eating disorders in a way. First and foremost, it's huge on social media right now. We all follow different diets. Those of us in the fitness industry, those of us not in the fitness industry, humans in general, people in general, we're all just trying to find some kind of balance between living our lives but then achieving these goals, these aesthetic goals we have, and wanting to be happy with ourselves, and trying to find the balance in there. Is there a balance? Some people don't think there is. I do believe there is, but I think it can be hard to achieve, and I almost think it's harder for us in the bodybuilding world to achieve because I really believe that competing can be such a mind fuck that it really, for even folks like me, a registered dietitian, can really jack up your mind and your thought process and your relationship with food. So I really think this is a challenging topic, and there's no one easy answer. So for those of you that are just looking for like, get to the point, lady, what is the answer to this? It's not that simple and quick. And first and foremost, the ability to find that balance is different for everyone. It's going to be different for everyone. It looks different for everyone. That is why each and every person has to focus on themselves and not compare yourselves and not compare your journey to the next person, to your friends or family, or to those you watch on social media, because everyone's journey is different. So what she is saying with If It Fits Your Macros, I don't feel like I struggled with that as much. I actually feel like If It Fits Your Macros really helped me not be as restrictive. But again, everyone on their fitness journey, on their their dieting journey handles things differently. So you get people that follow the if it fits your macros approach. There's people that do a clean eating approach and only eat said clean eating foods, which again, there's no definition for that. There's just kind of your basic, standards that we hear for clean eating on social media. We have people that follow meal plans and are on meal 1 through 5 and follow those exact foods to a T for a set amount of time. There's people that are intuitive eaters. This is something that I am trying to do. I'm 2 months out post-competition, and I'm trying to be more of an intuitive eater. And there's people that follow fad diets. We're all doing something different. There's different ways to get to your goals. And first and foremost, you can't really judge one person's method over another's, because it's really finding out what works best for you and what's maintainable for you. And I want to read a quick quote from Layne Norton that I think is awesome and kind of sums it up in a nutshell. And he says, "The best diet is not always the diet which is the best diet physically, but it's the diet that you can turn into a lifestyle that allows you to lose fat and keep it off, because you learn how to incorporate all foods in healthy moderation." So thank you, Dr. Layne Norton, because that is a fantastic quote that pretty much sums up my beliefs in a nutshell. It sounds very basic, but it can be such a challenge for people to get there. My fear, and a big reason why I want to do this video too, is I'm a grown-ass woman, but there are a lot of young girls and guys out there right now on social media who are probably 12 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, and they're looking up to us, and they're looking at these social media accounts trying to figure out how to be fit, how to be healthy, how to have chiseled abs. And I just think there's so many bad messages being shared out there that are causing a lot of eating disorders. And I would not be surprised, I have not looked at the statistics, but I would not be surprised if eating disorders are on the rise. They're more prevalent in females, but I would not be surprised if they're increasing in males as well. It's very trendy right now, fitness, Fitspo, and the social media. I've spoken about this before. So it really, really concerns me. So to talk about it a little bit, like I said, there's no one answer for how to go about things. I think there's a lot of things you can think about and consider that I'll just share with you guys to kind of think about for your own selves. First and foremost, in terms of being a competitor, I can speak to that because that's recently what I've gone through. I just went through basically prepping for an entire year, which actually in the competition world isn't a long time. You look at some competitors that, and I think bikini girls that maybe I follow on social media, that they actually prep and compete show after show after show for like 2 to 3 years. Honestly, I don't know how they do it. For me, just spending the past year of my life being so focused on competing, so focused on my diet, my food choices, how that's going to impact my body and what it looks like, that really threw me for a loop as soon as I was done this past April. It was like, I was so lost. I didn't know what to do with myself, and that's kind of what you've seen in some of my vlogs. I'm in a better place with it now, but I think that's one thing to think about. Like, for those of you that are competing, you may need to give yourself a break at some point. When is the last time you've given yourself a break? For me, a year straight, focused on cutting for a year straight, was too long for me. It was too long for me that when I was done, I wanted to go from one extreme to the next. From tracking and being so strict and following my meal plan to fuck all this. I want to eat what I want, do what I want, and you're not going to do anything about it. It was just like total rebellion, which makes no sense, against my own body. But it's very common. It's so super common. You're so strict, you're so focused for so long on these aesthetic goals, and then you just don't know what to do with yourself anymore, that you almost have to relearn how to eat normal. Like she wrote in her email, being in tune with being hungry and being full. Some people lose sight of that with If It Fits Your Macros. Sometimes you lose sight of it with meal planning because you just do what you're told. You don't have to think about it anymore, which is a freaking blessing in prep because you have so much shit to think about. But in everyday life, when you're just trying to be a normal person and you're just trying to live your life, but also like your body and feel good and fit and healthy, it can be really difficult to figure out what the heck to do. That you almost have to relearn how to have this relationship with food, how to figure out what to eat and how much without letting numbers dictate it, without letting a meal plan dictate it, without your coach dictating it. So I caution you, for those of you that are in cutting mode all the time, prep mode, just constantly striving to lose weight and get to this ideal body that you think is ideal, I caution you with that because it really can actually have the opposite effect where you just lose total sight of how to eat. And what happens is, and I get these emails all the time from people, is that if they don't follow their meal plan or they can't track their day, they go off the deep end. They binge automatically. If I can't track it, I'm gonna binge. Whether it's something healthy or not healthy, if you lose the ability to track it, it's like people can't comprehend that. They're so focused on the numbers, or they're so focused on doing that meal plan 110%. And you have to have some common ground there. Now, I understand with prep, or even if you're not in prep, you guys, when you are striving for certain aesthetic goals, you want to build muscle, you want to lose fat, you want to improve certain body parts. I agree. Tracking and having some type of plan is going to be necessary. Don't get me wrong. As a dietitian, what I've learned and what I've practiced is tracking is a very helpful tool. People that track, if you look at the National Weight Registry, for those that have been able to maintain weight loss, those people are people that have tracked their food choices, that are very mindful of their food choices. So don't get me wrong, tracking is not a bad thing. But there is the need to find a balance with not letting it run your life, with not losing the ability to look at food as food, and to not understand your body and what it's asking for at certain times. So when you need to make those aesthetic goals, yeah, you probably should track. But what I would recommend doing, so you don't lose sight of normal life per se, and allow yourself some flexibility in there. You know, maybe you're not, I have to hit 123 grams of protein, or else if I hit 127, I fucked up. I ruined my day. Maybe give yourself ranges. Maybe say, you know what, I'd like to hit between 120 and 150. And if I'm in there, I'm good. Maybe give yourself a little bit more flexibility so that you can kind of stay a little bit more not feeling as restrictive. And I think not feeling as restrictive is going to be something different for everyone. Like I said, for me, If It Fits Your Macros was a really great approach for me during prep. It allowed me the ability to make my own food choices and to listen to my body still. But yeah, I had to keep it within certain numbers, and numbers got cut down as I was trying to get leaner. But post-competition, having to follow If It Fits Your Macros still, I was able to still make it work. I didn't feel so restricted that I went to that end of the continuum where I was then feeling like I needed to binge. Again, that's going to be different for everyone. So you need to kind of assess your own life and assess what triggers you, what makes you feel restricted, and trying to find some kind of balance between knowing that all foods can fit a healthy diet. Like, who are these people saying that you can never go out and eat a freaking cheeseburger, or you can't have a donut? I'm sorry, but most dietitians would say, yeah, you can have that in moderation. Would I recommend that every day? Absolutely not. But again, it's making foods fit in moderation. And I think if it fits your macros, that's what's nice, is you can still make those things fit if you want to, if it's important to you, and not feel as restricted. Or you can choose to eat more clean eating style and not incorporate those foods. But again, I caution you to think about what's best for you, and not just think about what's best for you to reach the aesthetic goals, whether it's for a competition or you really want to lose those 10 pounds. You need to think beyond that. Think about the bigger picture, and especially for those younger kids out there, think about the bigger picture. So many people are, I will do whatever it takes mentality to get to that goal of where I need to get. I have felt that way. But then what happens when you get there? What happens when you reach that goal? What's next for you? You have to be prepared to think about, can I make this a lifestyle or not? Or am I doing things right now that are gonna fuck me up, that after that goal, after that wedding that I wanna be thin for, or that vacation, am I gonna totally lose myself? Am I gonna hate myself? Is my self-image gonna go down the tubes? I mean, these are things that we really need to all think about. With intuitive eating, I believe you can still reach your goals, but it can be very difficult, because being in tune with your body, I'm definitely going to eat more than if I was just following macros that I thought would help me lose weight, for sure. I think my eyes are much bigger than my stomach. So if you're not super in tune with your body and the ability to know where you're at on a hunger and fullness scale, it's very challenging. And it's not something that can be learned overnight. It takes patience. It takes a lot of time and dedication. And I highly recommend researching it a bit more to understand a bit more about that intuitive eating process. But I do think it is something you can utilize in order to still reach goals in terms of being fit and healthy. I do believe you can do if it fits your macros and still be fit and healthy. And same with clean eating or whatever you want to label your diet. Everyone's going to do something different. I guess my point is, if you're in that mentality where counting your food as numbers is fucking you up so bad that going 10 grams over carbs, you're going to have a meltdown, then it's really, really time to probably try a different plan of action. Because you're not going to be able to live your life like that. I'm sorry. And some people are just numbers people, and they're very perfectionist type A personalities, and tracking numbers is good for them, and it's really, there's no emotional connection there, and they track it and they're good and they're done and they move on with their day. But then there's other people that have that emotional attachment where if they go over, they're going to binge. So you need to think about, what type of personality are you? What do you need in your life to make your weight loss journey, your fitness journey, a lifestyle? I don't have the answer for you in one YouTube video. This is something that's going to be a work in progress for each and every one of us. And it's something I still learn more and more about myself with each and every fitness goal I try to reach, I achieve. I'm still learning more about myself in this process. You're never going to stop learning. You're always going to want to reassess, challenge yourself, do something different, do what you think's best for you at that time in your life. But we all need and require something different. So I just encourage you to think about it a little bit more than just reaching that one aesthetic goal. Think about it in the bigger picture, in the bigger scheme of life, and think about how it's impacting the rest of your life. If you're unable to enjoy time with your family and friends, if you're isolating yourself, that's not a good place to be. That's not living your life. And I really believe you can live your life and still reach your fitness goals. So for the lady that wrote me the email, I really hope that, for you, it might be a good time to reach out to a healthcare professional and talk about what's going on and get some assistance and support. Because first and foremost, to keep those things inside, to keep it a secret, can only make it worse. So I'm glad you opened up and wrote me an email, and I hope you continue to work towards improving your relationship with food. I'm going to conclude this video here. Because as you know, I could ramble on and on and on and keep going on this topic, but I would love to hear below what your thoughts are on achieving that healthy balance between your diet and lifestyle. It's this this amazing thing that many people feel like they can't achieve and can be very difficult and can get very grayed in the competitive fitness lifestyle. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. If you have tips or tricks, or maybe you're someone that's struggling and this video reached you and touched you in a way, please share your stories below. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you made it through the whole thing, again, please share it with others if you found it helpful. And if you would like additional information on these topics, then please comment below. Give this video a like, keep checking back for more. So pretty much gonna take this, head out the door, head to the gym, and we'll see you afterwards. Alright guys, I just finished my back, chest, and a little bit of abs. I live stream that on LiveMe. I actually really like that app. I think it's kind of fun that I can interact with people right away, so I'm probably gonna keep doing that. You guys should check it out because I'd love to be able to interact back and forth with you at the moment as opposed to just responding to comments. So check that out if you guys want.